Hey, good evening. My name is Ross Nova, running for governor of Minnesota on the Republican Party. Welcome to the War Room Kitchen, where I address real issues that matter to families. That being said, the next thing I'd like to talk about is, let me go back here, parental awareness rights, ensuring no travel off school grounds. It ensures student safety, protects parents' rights, and prevents students from leaving school grounds without proper notice, consent, and supervision. It recognizes that unscheduled or politically motivated walkouts place children at risk from traffic hazards, unknown threats, and lack of accountability. School is one of the safest places that a child can be. It's a very controlled environment where all doors are locked. There's security surveillance, there's staff members, everything is under control. The moment they leave the school, teachers have no control, staff have no control of what happens outside the school. So it's important to keep the students in school at all times, even if kids want to walk out and protest. That is putting the child at risk because we don't know who the protesters are, what their background are. We don't know if they're sex offenders. We don't know if they have a huge criminal background. We just don't know enough to allow this to happen. So, parents' notification and consent. No student shall be permitted to leave school grounds for any off-campus activity without written parental consent. Parents or legal guardians must be notified no less than 7 days in advance of any planned off-campus activity. Exception: school-sponsored athletic events, field trips, or extra activities that are part of established schedule announced months in advance may satisfy notice requirements through seasonal or annual consent form. In other words, sports. If they have a game, it's been on the books for a long time. Parents know about that because they oftentimes pack their uniforms for their child. Same-day walkouts, protests, or demonstrations shall not be permitted under any circumstances. My accent, I swear. Duty of school staff. Teachers and staff shall take reasonable and appropriate action to keep students on school grounds during instructional hours. If students attempt to leave school grounds, staff must immediately direct students to remain on campus, on school. Notify school administration and attempt to contact parents or guardians for students' pickup. Teachers and staff must make reasonable efforts to return students to the school building if students leave or attempt to leave. The thing is, during the Roosevelt High School, when I was watching the ICE agents on school grounds, because they were chasing a criminal, 5 miles they chased this guy down that ended up on school ground of Roosevelt High School. All the teachers, not all the teachers, but there's quite a few teachers that were harassing the ICE agents and allowing students to also harass the ICE agents. We didn't know what the background of that individual was. I have only seen one teacher that tried to get the students back in school. Only one. That was a very dangerous situation for the students. And I'm surprised there's not enough lawsuits that I'm hearing about when that happened. Because I would be suing the school. If I found out that my kids, I don't have any kids, but if I had kids, were out protesting or throwing stuff at ICE agents and the school allowed it. A student who leaves school grounds without authorization shall be subject to disciplinary action, which may include detention, loss of privilege, or academic penalties, including reduction of letter grade for failure to follow instructions. Discipline shall be progressive and documented. Staff accountability. Any teacher, administration, or staff members who knowingly encourages, permits, or facilitates unauthorized off-campus activity shall be subject to disciplinary action, including unpaid suspension or no less than 30 days. Repeated violations may result in termination. And the thing is, if the child should get hurt while they're off campus, unscheduled off campus, the penalties will be so much more severe. I think that's the least of your worries. Safety training education. Schools shall provide annual training to staff regarding procedures under this. Schools shall be educate students on rules and risks associated with leaving school grounds at frequency comparable to fire drills or active shooter drills. Each school district shall adopt policies consistent with this, report violations to State Department of Education. So there should be training, I think. Whenever there's protesters outside the school that should not be there, there should be steps the teachers, staff members should take as well for the safety. If students start to attempt to leave, teachers should know exactly what they need to do to bring the students back in and to make sure the parents are informed. And the thing is, parents must be informed if the student shall make an attempt to leave. Whether they kept the student inside at the end, they should still inform the parents, because parents need to know what's going on in the schools at all times. Any type of incident that involves children, the parents should know. So that's what I believe. I believe that teachers and staff members shall try to prevent students from leaving school grounds, because that's the only safe zone that's in controlled area, controlled environment. Once the students leave, it's out of their control. Anything can happen, and we don't want that. Ross Nova, shooting forward, brighter, bolder, for a better tomorrow. Thank you.